Have you ever felt like you're running as fast as you can on a treadmill, but the finish line just keeps moving further away? Most people think being poor is simply about having a low bank balance or a small paycheck. They believe that if they just earned a few $100s more each month, all their problems would suddenly vanish. But after years of observing patterns and studying how wealth is actually built, I've realized that poverty isn't just a number. It's a series of psychological and structural traps. Today, I want to pull back the curtain on the 6 types of poverty that are holding people back right now. This isn't about labeling anyone or making you feel bad about your current situation. It's about clarity. Because once you identify which trap you're currently standing in, you finally get the map you need to walk out of it. Stick with me until the end, because the last type is the most dangerous one. It's the one that catches the people who think they've already made it. Before we dive into the first one, do me a quick favor. If you're serious about changing your financial future and want more deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button and join our community here at Millionaire Thoughts. It helps the channel grow and it keeps you on the right track. Done? Great, let's get into it. The first type is what I call the status poor. These are the people living a highly edited, curated version of their own lives. They don't buy things because they need them. They buy things because they need to look like someone who has them. They are essentially paying for a character they are playing in public. You've seen this person. It's the guy earning a modest salary but carrying a brand new $1,200 smartphone that he's still paying off in 24 installments. It's the person who finances a luxury SUV over 72 months because without that long-term debt, they couldn't even dream of making the monthly payment. They're constantly upgrading their clothes, their watches, and their accessories, not out of necessity, but out of a deep-seated fear of appearing less than in the eyes of their peers.
The status poor believe they are living well, but in reality, they are living a fantasy. Their problem isn't a lack of income, it's a total lack of boundaries. They justify every impulsive purchase with the phrase, "I deserve this." But here's the cold truth. That phrase doesn't pay the interest when it hits your account. The cycle is always the same. See something that provides immediate pleasure, swipe the card, create an artificial sensation of wealth, and then spend the rest of the month frantically trying to put out the financial fires. When you live to feed an image, you become a slave to that image. You aren't buying a product, you're buying validation. The car isn't just transportation, it's a way to say, "Look at me, I'm successful." But none of it fills the internal void. Instead, it builds a cage of debt that gets harder to escape every single year. Status is cheap to acquire, but incredibly expensive to maintain. Wealth, on the other hand, is hard to build, but very cheap to sustain. 2. The settled mindset, the silent conformist. Next, we have the settled poor. This is the most silent and perhaps the most tragic type of all. These individuals don't spend to show off. They don't have massive debts from luxury items. Their problem is internal. They've accepted their current reality as their final destination. The settled poor operate on autopilot. They have a basic routine. They do the bare minimum at work, and they never question the status quo. It's not that they lack the talent or the intelligence to do more. It's that they've convinced themselves there's no point in even trying. They don't dream big, they don't plan for the future, and they certainly don't challenge themselves to learn new skills. This is a form of emotional armor. By saying things like, "Money isn't for people like me," or "I wasn't born to be rich," they protect themselves from the pain of failure. But in doing so, they also lock themselves out of any possibility of growth. Their lives aren't marked by great tragedies or great triumphs, just a long, lukewarm middle. When you accept the minimum is your destiny, you stop looking for the maximum. You adjust your entire life to fit into the small box you believe you deserve. The settled poor don't need a raise, they need an awakening. Your life stands still because you stopped moving first.
3. The emotional gambler, chasing the miracle. The third type is the emotional investor. Now, this person actually tries. They take action, but their action is chaotic and driven entirely by feelings rather than logic. They treat the financial markets like a casino with better lighting. always hoping for that one secret shortcut that will multiply their money overnight. They aren't looking to build a legacy. They're looking for a miracle. They want to solve all their life's problems with one single lucky move. This mindset is exactly what destroys their chances of ever actually becoming wealthy. The emotional investor follows a predictable script. They get excited about a hot tip, they dump money in, the market fluctuates, they panic, and they sell at a loss. They don't look at fundamentals, they don't study the assets, they just react. If the market goes up, they feel like they're missing out. If it goes down, they feel like they're being robbed. They invest to soothe their anxiety, but investing based on emotion is the fastest way to lose everything. Wealth requires discipline, consistency, and time. If you try to force speed onto a process that requires patience, you will always pay the price. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, make sure to give this video a like. It really helps the algorithm show this to more people who might need this wake-up call. 4. The time-starved worker, the hamster wheel. Then we have the time-starved worker. This is the person who does everything right and yet stays in the exact same place. They work hard, they are honest, and they don't live beyond their means. Their problem is that they are trapped in a routine that consumes 100% of their energy and gives them zero room to grow. They wake up early, they spend the day racing against the clock, they come home exhausted, and they repeat it all the next day. There is no energy left for focus, no time left for learning, and no mental space for strategy. This is the survival mode trap. They aren't failing because they are lazy, they are failing because they have no margin. They are so busy trying not to drown that they never have the chance to swim toward the shore. If you only ever do what you've always done, you will only ever be where you've always been. This type of poverty is built on the model of trading hours for dollars. Since hours are limited, your income is capped. To break out of this, you don't need more effort, you need a different direction. You have to find small pockets of time, even if it hurts in the short term, to learn a skill that increases the value of your hour. You have to stop putting out fires and start building a fireproof house.
5. The proud poor, the ego trap. The fifth type is the proud poor. Out of everyone on this list, this person is the hardest to help because they refuse to be helped. They don't ask for advice, they don't admit mistakes, and they certainly don't listen to anyone they deem below them. They live inside their own certainties, even when those certainties are clearly sabotaging their bank account. The proud poor put their ego above their wallet. When the ego's in charge, the money disappears. They refuse to learn anything new because they think they already know it all. They're afraid of looking like a beginner, so they never start anything new. They would rather defend a mistake to the death than admit they were wrong and change course. They see listening as a sign of weakness. They think that taking advice diminishes their value. But the opposite is true. Those who don't listen don't evolve. "I've always done it this way" is their favorite phrase. And while they repeat it, their financial life continues to decay. Admitting you don't know something isn't a loss of respect. It's the beginning of growth. But the proud poor would rather stay broke and right than be wealthy and wrong. 6. The invisible struggle, the illusion of stability. Finally, we reach the most deceptive type, the invisible poor. I call them this because they don't look poor. They don't flaunt wealth they don't have, they don't make huge mistakes, and they pay their bills on time. From the outside, everything looks perfect. They have a good job, a nice house, and a normal life. But inside, their financial life is as fragile as a house of cards. Despite their decent salary, they have zero net worth. Everything that comes in goes right back out. They earn more than average, but they accumulate nothing. They live a comfortable life, but they aren't building anything substantial. They are stable, but they are not secure. One job loss, one medical emergency, or one economic downturn, and their entire world flips upside down. They don't feel the need to change because they aren't struggling in the traditional sense. But the comfort of today kills the urgency for tomorrow. Balance without a reserve isn't balance, it's just luck, and luck is not a strategy. Wealth isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and how hard that money works for you. Conclusion. Which one are you? So as we wrap this up, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Which of these traps are you currently standing in? Are you chasing status? Have you settled for less? Are you gambling with your emotions? Are you out of time? Is your pride in the way? Or are you living the invisible illusion? Identifying the trap is the only way to escape it. You have the power to change your trajectory, but it starts with a choice. It starts with deciding that good enough isn't good enough anymore. If you've made it this far, it shows you have the focus that most people lack. To let me know you're part of the dedicated few, leave a comment below saying, "Carrot cake with chocolate frosting." Don't forget to subscribe to Millionaire Thoughts for more strategies on how to break these cycles and build real, lasting wealth. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. I'll see you in the next one.